Cool. So, all right. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Brothers in Arms podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about a few things. The Indominus Box, we're going to go back to that, review it a little bit, talk about our first week with it. Then we're going to talk about our build routine, not only with the Indominus Box, but also anytime we're building miniatures, putting them together. We're going to review a couple of games this week. Yeah. We're going to talk about Blood Rage, and we're going to talk about my favorite battle companies. Then I think we're going to visit the best and worst competitive gaming memories that we have. And then maybe a little off-topic stuff with our Off the Sprue segment. You ready to go?
Ready. So like Josh said, we're going to start with the Indominus Box and go to the build routine right after that. So what do you think? What are your views on the Indominus Box so far?
All right, so a week in, I almost have everything put together. Pretty much everything short of a couple, 10 rather, of the Necron Warriors. I'm going to be honest, it was a little more difficult to put together as snap fit models than I was anticipating.
It was.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I was expecting like an hour and a half of build time and then just be ready to play.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not that great of a modeler, but
no, it was
a little bit of a challenge.
So there was a couple, everything fit tight and snug. Everything was really well like put together.
Agreed.
I didn't have any schematics, so I didn't know what I was doing. I had your wife send me a picture of the schematics.
I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah.
And it was, like I couldn't fucking see them. So I just went with it. And what I did is I cut a whole sprue apart and then just tried to dry fit everything. I love dry fitting first.
Wow. Yeah. Going in dry. Yep.
The only problem that I had was one of the jetpacks was really loose on the nub in the back, but that was it. Otherwise it all fit really snug, but it was much more putting a puzzle together than drawing a painting, or like drawing a picture, you know what I mean? So it's like you had to fit all the pieces together for it to work instead of just like, okay, well, I'm gonna chop this off and fucking glue this together and do all this stuff. So
yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a cool evolution.
For sure it is. And really, it's easier than a lot of other models, maybe just a little more difficult than I was actually anticipating. Yeah. The ones I had the most trouble with were the actual Necron Warriors. Some of the arms fit in a little loose for me, and maybe a couple of the poses were not great. Yeah, I mean, probably more mistakes on my end, or I don't even know if they're mistakes or not, but anyways, they came out looking all right. I just spent a little more time on it than I was anticipating. I was able to get a layer of priming that lead belcher on there, so they're nice and metallic.
How many did you get done?
Everything that's put together right now is primed, so I'm just 10 short on the Warriors.
I was going to say, how many you have put together?
What, Warriors or the whole thing?
The whole kit.
I think I had 37 models in it, and I got 27 of them built, all but 10 Warriors.
Nice.
So the box came with 20 Necron Warriors. And the sprues for those two, they're a little weird to look at right at first as far as the way they're numbered. This is so funny because I actually had a guide and I still had a little bit of trouble with it. You didn't. Yeah. And you were still able to put these things together. How much time did you spend it on? I'm curious.
So last night, probably from, when did you go to work? 4?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Roughly.
So right around, I started probably about like 5 o'clock. I started clipping the sprues, and then I went till probably about midnight.
Okay.
So solid 8 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. Yeah.
Wow, fuck, that was a long.
That's kind of a long time.
When you start putting it in like words like that, you're like, wow, I only spent a couple hours yesterday. Then you're like, holy shit, I spent 8 hours. But
it's funny because I'm probably also about 8 hours into the build. Granted, I have the guide, so you could probably shave a couple hours off.
I mean, Space Marines are Space Marines. I feel like the Necrons are tougher, just because I don't know. They're the whole skeleton body and all that, and they're. I don't know. They give you a lot of extra bits for the Space Marines. I don't know if you had that with the Necrons.
I got some extra bits.
I had like 10 extra heads and
Yeah,
like
yep.
jetpacks and swords and guns.
Yep.
Dude, I don't know. They are cool.
They look really
so cool. The Space Marines are so freaking cool. When I got done with them, I'm just looking at my new army and I'm like, because I got everything all put together. So yeah, so like I said, I dry fit the entire army. And then I went back through today and took them each individually apart and glued them.
Oh, wow.
And shaped them. So, but that didn't take too long because it was like, I just take one mini, rip it all apart, shave it, glue it.
You already put it together, so you kind of know how it goes.
Yeah, the bikes were probably the hardest.
Sure. They probably had the most pieces, didn't they?
Well, they just had the longest pieces because you had the main frame with the two wheels, and that front wheel had to have that like spokes for it, you know, the hubcap basically for the other one. So once you put that in there, it's kind of locked in there. Well, you have to put this other piece in, and it's kind of like I said, like putting a puzzle together. And if you go one piece ahead, you fuck yourself. And not having a schematics, I'm like just winging it, and I'm like, oh damn it! And
there is a specific order those things kind of go into for them to snap fit and lock in. So kudos to you actually for getting that done without the.
It was fun. It was. It was a pain in the ass, but it was probably one of the most fun times I've had putting miniatures together because it was so. Yeah, like all the thinking was done for me. Yeah, putting them together, they fit. You know?
So, do you have a favorite model out of the box? Mm-hmm. Which one's
Absolutely. I'll show you.
Yeah.
My favorite model. First of all, the bikes are probably my favorite, but this boy right here, I guess this would be the Chaplin.
Is that? I think so.
Okay, because the Chaplin that I bought doesn't look like this at all.
Oh, really?
This guy has. I mean, I'll show a picture of it here, but this guy has the coolest head. It's like
It's very cool.
It's like a gaunt, like he's almost dead. I don't know. And then his hand, he's holding a chained hand, and it looks like a Necron hand.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like when your science teacher has a key to the bathroom or like a hall pass, you know, and he puts it on the skeleton hand. Yeah, something like that, you know. I also like that model. That guy's definitely wearing a COVID mask. So good for him, you know. Way to be relevant with the times.
I really like this one. He is literally standing on a Necron body. Yeah. And that came with it. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, we got a little of that going on a couple of my
models
as well too. Yeah,
I figured that's one of the coolest parts about this kit is they can really be specific with the accoutrement. Like you can have the Necrons on the bases because it's like they're kicking the shit out of each other on the battlefield. I don't know. It's really invigorated my lust for 40K. I really was not excited to put them together. I mean, I literally did it yesterday. So it was like I waited a whole week because I was like, it's a pain in the ass. I got to put all these together. It's whatever. And by the time I was done, I was like, wow, I can't wait to play this. I really can't.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you had a busy week too, putting together our first episode. Yeah. Check that out if you guys haven't watched that yet, by the way. Yeah. But
we're learning this stuff as we go along. Yeah. And it's a lot more than I thought it was going to be, but we're ready now. We're ready. That first week was a tough one, but
it's like
we're done.
Whenever you hop into the miniatures hobby, there are like 5 other hobbies you're doing at the same time. You're playing the game, you're painting them, you're assembling. Well, whenever you make a podcast about that stuff too, that's a whole nother hobby right there. A whole nother skill set. And a YouTube. Yeah, for sure. So, you know.
I think, going forward, well, it'll be a lot easier and a lot more fun. Plus, we watched it 15 times, so we learned from what we did in the last one, and we're trying to change things up a little bit, make it more segmented and much more easier to read, basically. So
a little more structure to it.
Yeah, the Indominus box, I liked it a lot. I think so far it's really cool.
I want to share my favorite model real quick. I'm gonna grab him from right over here as well.
I'll say your cord will reach for sure.
Oh, will it?
Yeah. It's like a 8-footer. An 8-footer. Oh, yeah.
Could have left that on.
See, that's weird. Okay, yeah. So you picked those.
What's weird about that?
I thought you were gonna, because I remember those guys from the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought you were going to pick the big boy.
You know, I do really like the big boy. For some reason, I really like these guys. They remind me of like Velociraptors or something.
They are very cool.
And I think they're affectionately already been nicknamed the Murder Buckets.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Essentially, they serve as like a bodyguard role in my army for one of the psychers. I believe, but these guys just look really cool. The crypto thralls, I believe, is what they're called. So I got 2 of them in the box set. They function way better in that bodyguard role, what I can tell from the rules. I'm excited to see these things go. They can shoot a laser out of their cyclonic port they have there. It's basically a laser gun for their eye. Some nice talon dagger things for arms there. So
they have really neat. They have that like so I don't know what is it? It's not labyrinth. What's the other? Dark crystal. That's what they kind of remind me of, is dark crystal. Those bird creatures.
Oh yeah,
but like way more badass with the scythes. You know what I mean? Like the scythes are really cool.
That was the word I was looking for.
So going forward, when we play, that's my biggest downfall to 40Ks. I don't know what the hell they do. I don't know what any of my guys do. I took the book and I didn't even look at what they do at all. So I'm really excited to see that. Plus, are any of these yours? Or is this all Space Marine?
No, that's all, I think it's all Space Marine stuff.
I'm going to be applying for my first time, some decals. Wow. Very excited. What is your paint scheme?
All right, so the paint scheme is going to be, obviously I got the Lead Belcher Prime. I found kind of a cool...
That still blows my mind, by the way.
What? That it's in a spray can?
I can't... Yeah, I've never seen it before. I feel like I've only ever seen, like, flat
I mean, yeah, there's... I don't think it's that new of a thing. I'm surprised you're surprised.
Yeah,
but
I've never seen it anywhere we've ever gone.
I guess I've always thought, like... I didn't really want to prime something because usually metallics are... smaller sections of the model. I'm painting weapons and things like that, but it worked really well for this right now. Put a nice coat on there, so
great.
I'm happy with it so far. I feel like I could just throw a wash on right now and I wouldn't be too upset about it.
Some contrast paint a little bit.
So I found like a nice kind of a cream color that I think I'm gonna put for part of their armor.
Okay, am I thinking the same thing you are? Droids from Star Wars?
Oh, okay. So I would call that more of a beige than a cream. I see what you're saying. Closer to like a white. That would be very cool. I agree. But more of a whitish cream color. And then I think I'm going to use their, where their lasers are coming out of and the little parts where there's orbs of energy in them and their eyes. I think I'm going to contrast that with red. So metallic, white, red.
So no green.
I don't think I'm going to do the green. I reserve the right to change my mind.
Okay.
We'll see whenever.
You get one.
I get one.
You get one change.
I'll take one change. And then I'll change the rule on that. And maybe I'll change it again. I don't know. But we'll see. That might be a lot of work because I will have to paint over a lot of the Lead Belcher area if I do that.
But it will look so cool.
It'll look pretty badass. If I can find it, someone shared it on a Facebook group that had something similar. And that's kind of what gave me the idea. There's an app out there too where you can try out paints on models before you
I've seen a Reaper do it.
Is it Reaper that does it? Man, I'm gonna find it. If I do, before we put this out, we'll put a little link in it right here. I want to play around with that a little bit more, but might give me some more ideas. But at least so far, that's what I'm thinking. What about you?
Well, first, real quick, what are you gonna base with? How are you gonna base?
Great question. So I think I'm gonna use some of the texture and technical paints to base this time.
Are you gonna go muddy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna make it kind of a muddy. I think sort of in the story on the planet they're on, Vargas 2. It's like a mining planet. I'm thinking like down in the mines.
Yeah.
Real kind of muddy, battle torn mine shaft kind of thing.
Well, I'm gonna copy yours, so we're like playing on the same.
That'll look really cool.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
usually, as I put these things together before I even prime them. I'll throw in some sand and some gravel and that kind of thing. And then, gone from there. But this time I'm going to paint the models up and then apply the texture paint.
Did you glue them to the base or they just snapped in?
They're glued.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I glued them.
I just snapped mine.
Did you?
It's so funny because we're doing like the opposite. Like Josh is always the last to finish the model, and I'm always the first one to just be like, fuck it. Like,
we flip-flopped a little bit here.
Like I said, I don't know what it is. I kind of like... These are more my babies this time.
Your
I don't know
babies
why.
This time.
Normally, miniatures are so quick.
Held accountable by a podcast and,
that's true.
And video, so you really want to show off, and that's okay.
And I did call Josh today, and I asked him if he was going to be green stuffing his miniatures, and he said no. And so I decided I'm not going to either.
You were thinking about it, though.
I was. If you would have said yes, competition would have been on, but.
I meant to tell you I already green stuffed all of them. That's what I meant to say. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. These aren't competition pieces. I don't really care that much. Maybe I'll green stuff like a couple of the guys that I really, really like. But other than that, yeah, they're going to get some primer tomorrow and get going on my paint scheme.
Yeah, well, what is it then? Tell us.
So I did tell Josh he should do the Cyberpunk, and I decided I'm going to do Cyberpunk Space Marines.
Cool.
So it's going to be some little bits of, obviously not canon, but I'm going to do some bits that are like ripped off, and I'm going to try and take, because I do have some Necrons that I've put together, and I have some extra bits from that, and maybe do some kit bashing where I maybe a chest piece came off and then put some like Necron, I don't know, crap in there. So it's like, they're not Necron, but they're definitely like enhanced humans with robotics. But yeah, I don't, maybe not. That, I mean, I reserve the right to change my mind.
You get one. Yeah, you get one.
I'll probably just go lazy route and just paint the shit out of them and then throw some like neon colors on there. Do they? So I was looking at my paints today.
Yeah.
Neon colors are hard to come by. Like neon bright, because I have some like pinks and greens
final
and
layer
stuff.
of highlighting. You see more of those neon type colors.
I was looking at the box and I was looking at the art, and there's always that classic blue Space Marine. You know what I mean? And I'm not the best painter. I do quick and dirty, get it on the table, ready to go. A lot of if contrast paint were around when I was painting more, then yeah, I would contrast painted the hell out of it. But instead, it was a lot of washes and a lot of dry brushing. Yeah. You know, I feel like that's what just sets it apart. So
I've got some some contrast paints. If you want to give it a go,
I have one.
What do you have? I got about a dozen.
I got Aethermatic Blue.
Okay. That's one I don't have. So then we got maybe 13 or so between the two of us. But I got the primers for them too.
Really? How much did you spend on all that contrast paint?
When it first came out, I thought it was just going to be
wasn't it?
Yeah, we should make a segment about that at some point in time. Talk about those contrast paints.
Yeah.
But real short, I thought it was going to be maybe a little more exciting to paint with those. But they're still pretty handy.
They're just thick washes, right? Like
they definitely function as a wash to some degree. I mean, you can even wash with the contrast paints over other stuff if you want to. Dries real quick. You don't want to move that pigment around a whole lot, but they're cool. They're still pretty cool, but I haven't used them a whole lot. Maybe 10 models or so I've done with the contrast paints, but I'm just saying they're there if you want them.
Yeah, I'll definitely use them for sure.
For a small fee.
When when you're batch painting, like I'm not used to batch painting. Like the Necrons is probably Nurgle. See, that's the thing is that all my batch painting has always been very organic.
Yep.
I consider Nurgle organic. Yes, it's not, but in the sense of there's no technicality to it. It's all, like you said, lead belcher, and then it's a black wash, and then some like really bright gray highlights, or like just a bright gray dry brushing and some green. Yep. That's it. Same with Nurgle. Nurgle is just green.
Well, the grosser they look, the better.
Green, and then green, and then some blood if you want. But then easy, and then pus. It's great.
God.
Yeah, that's like anything you need to solve. You just throw some more wash on it and make it as dirty as possible, and they look cool. Table ready.
Yeah, some models really lend themselves to kind of that quick batch painting and
for sure.
A little bit better.
I'm excited to start the Space Marines though.
So Space Marines, cool.
These are going to be the cleanest paint job
but
I've done.
What colors?
So that's the thing is I don't know specifically yet. Okay. I know there's gonna be some pinks, some greens.
Wow.
Excuse me. I've been trying not to burp this whole time because I burped a lot in the last one, but I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
It's who you are.
It is. Yeah. I can't fight that.
That's fine.
Here, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm really excited to start painting. And I'd like to do some painting on film too. So maybe that's something we do in either the next or because these I'm not going to be done in a week painting these. It's going to take me.
No, I won't either. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. maybe a little painting on. See what happens.
Sure.
Well, I'm ready to move on. What do you think?
Yeah. Absolutely. So I think next we kind of wanted to do a couple of reviews here. Yeah.
Yeah. We got them. We got them showing here.
Yeah.
It's two of our passions. These are now. they've been reviewed to death. Both of these things that we have here.
These aren't new products by any means.
But it's just something that these first couple episodes, we want you guys to know who the hell we are. So this is our favorite turf here. So Josh has Battle Companies and I have Blood Rage. And I think, yeah, I mean, these are probably the top games in our list. Like if there was one we had to choose to play forever, he already said last week that Battle Companies was his.
Yep.
And mine is Blood Rage this week. So I'm going to go ahead here if you don't mind.
Yeah, take it, man.
So why I love Blood Rage so much, the number one reason I love Blood Rage so much, not just because the miniatures are super cool, not because there's so many mechanics that keep it going and just let it flow with itself, but the drafting. I love drafting. Drafting is my favorite game mechanic in any game.
Sure.
It adds so much thought and creativity to a deck that you're building. Your deck is your basic physical brain outside of your head.
As you draft too,
yeah,
it means the replayability of this
so
game
high.
is like,
yeah.
you know,
yeah, and there's ways to play the game where you can, you know, screw your opponent over drafting, like playing Magic. You can do that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like with Blood Rage, you do the same thing. You can screw your partner over, or you can be like, you know what? I'm going to get in his head. I'm going to pass this along. I know it's a cool card, but I'm going to counter that with the card that I'm pulling. Drafting is so much fun. It's so much thought going into it.
Gives you an opportunity to maybe mix strategies or try things you haven't tried before.
Absolutely.
Maybe find something that's not ultra apparent when you first take a look at the cards and see if you can make them work together, you know?
Yeah. There's 3 rounds. So if it's not working that first round, you can change up your decisions. You know, you're like, all right, well, the second round, I'm going to definitely go a different direction because that first round I didn't. And the cards progress so well with the game that they get so much more brutal and hardcore that it changes the game so drastically by that third round.
Yeah.
That the drafting is the best part of that game. If you took, I don't know, there's really good aspects of the game. You need every part of it. Every component's good, but the drafting, I think, is where it excels.
You touched on it too, though. But the miniatures in that for a board game, because it is a board game.
Yeah,
the miniatures are just awesome.
Out of this world.
They're so good.
Yeah,
I remember those are probably some of the miniatures you first painted. Also,
yeah,
right?
I was gonna take them out of the box. I'll post some pictures on. But yeah, those are some of my favorite painted miniatures that I've ever done.
They're so cool.
Those are some of the first miniatures I ever painted, and I don't know. I never got around to painting the warriors. I did.
You did the monsters.
I did the monsters.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yep. And I only did a couple of the monsters, but yeah, that was a very, very fun. See, that's another reason why I like doing those, because those are one-offs. Where you're like, all right, I have the Iceman, the ice guy, and then I have like what the hell's the guy with the sword, and then the sea monster.
Yeah, the one from the sea.
Yeah, it's like they're one-off, so it's like I can be as creative and fun as possible.
Sure.
It's not this monotony of this one at a time. The other big thing that I like is the point totals. They get so high. And there's nothing more fun and exciting than going around the board past the total. I think it's 100 points on there, or 120 points
on the outline of the board, right?
It's like weird though. Isn't it 120? It's like a weird number, I think.
We'll take a look. I don't remember
can't
off the top
remember.
of my head,
but you go. I've never played a game of Blood Rage where it hasn't gone around the board at least one time. That's a really cool thing to do. Do you hear that noise?
Yeah, what the hell's that?
I have no idea. It's been doing it.
And then it like slow.
So what I really enjoy is that large point tally. It's great for people that are really behind, and it's great for people that are really ahead. Because when you're really, really behind and you haven't lapped it yet, and you're like, how many times you lap? And it's like, oh yeah, I've already been around. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm only at 80 points.
There are, from round to round, there can be huge swings in point totals too. You can be last and make a really nice comeback in this game, or you can just front run and take over and just keep going. We used to keep a scoreboard.
Yeah. We did have a scoreboard. I actually still have that scoreboard.
Do you really?
Yeah. God, I'll show a picture of that.
I want to see that thing.
It's on my way. It's on the way down to my basement. So every time I walk down, I see it. Josh is number one in almost every game.
Huh.
What the hell? I beat you in one. I know I did.
It may have been Blood Rage, was it?
Maybe. No, you got me on Blood Rage, bastard. I don't know. I'll show you a picture of it. It was fun. That was a cool time. That was obviously pre-COVID. We had in my basement at my old place, we would play board games religiously, and we'd keep tallies and see who could. I think it actually stemmed from you, didn't it? You and Dan used to.
Yeah, me and my buddy Dan.
Yeah.
We used to keep track of a lot of the games that we played, mostly Magic.
Yeah.
We'd keep a running tally on who was kind of up in our continuous series.
It's so simple but so satisfying to have that up on your wall.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't. I don't know. You always think like, all right, well, I need to have this like badass like framed piece. We had a piece of foam core, and I just printed off pictures and then just wrote some names and just posted the most embarrassing pictures I could find of people and put them up there.
There's a fun little craft project for everybody if they want to do something like that.
Yeah.
King of Tokyo. That was the one Dan and I.
That was the big
Oh,
one.
man.
Yeah.
We played a ton of that. I can't believe I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
But hundreds of games, honestly. I've played King of Tokyo so many times. That's a great game, but that's kind of where that scoreboard system came from.
Dan does have a podcast too. What is Dan's podcast?
It is
Spring
Food Mo.
Yeah, Spring Food Mo.
So give that thing a listen.
Yeah.
If you like food or you know where Springfield, Missouri is, my hometown, boy.
Yeah.
Young Gandalf's hometown, boy.
Young Gandalf.
Had to get that in there.
Yeah. So that's the point totals is a huge plus for it. I love games that because there's a lot of games that you don't keep score as well. The scoring's kind of just like whatever. I just had fun playing.
Right.
This is a very competitive game. The battles are always exciting, no matter what is happening. You're always thinking you're outthinking your opponent. It's never like, oh, I'm out. There's no way I can beat this. You're always like, well, fuck it. I'll just play this card and then, whatever. Like there's always an out. No matter what. They must have play tested this game for years before they produced it. I don't understand. It's like every mechanic is good and we've never beat the mechanics. In games you can play and you're like, this is just not working. I don't know. There's always ways to like kind of bypass certain things, scenarios, and there's always like that ultimate win. I have not found that in Blood Rage. We played so many games of this, and there's never an easy win. There's never like, oh, I took this. My biggest way of doing it is the Valhalla route. I always try and kill all my guys, get all the points from Valhalla, just get everybody in there. And as soon as they're coming out, I get all the points. I love it. That's a great way to do it.
It's so good with the theme. It is a very Viking-esque theme.
Yeah. There is the Asian version. There's like this
Rising Sun. That's what I was just checking out right there. I can't remember the name of it.
And when did we find out about that? Was that at Renegade?
Before that.
Was it before?
That. Yeah, it's been out for a while. Blood Rage, probably 2 years after Blood Rage came out.
God, and I remember hearing it for the first time, and I was very excited about that because I love the whole like dynasty era and like all that like feudal Japan. I love that samurai, but I love Vikings just as much. It's such a cool theme, and I don't know, these guys they really pick like really cool themes. Now I want to say Eric Lang. I don't know for sure, but I think he did Dead of Winter too.
Oh really?
And Dead of Winter. Let me take a look.
Check that guy out.
Oh, I don't have internet. Never mind.
I watched a video not that long ago. I say that was probably a year ago. The developer of this game in of Blood Rage and of Rising Sun, and it's an Egyptian god style game like that.
Oh, cool.
And the miniatures for that. I thought these were cool miniatures. The miniatures for that. Oh my word.
The Egyptian one?
Oh wow.
Really?
Really? Yeah. Try and see if you can find that real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No internet on the laptop.
My
there.
computer is just like we have no internet right now. I'll take a look at it later.
Yeah, we'll check it out later. But
yeah, that's probably one of the best mechanics in this game is the battling, but that goes hand in hand with the cards that you drafted.
yeah.
Hold on.
We're just going to space every time that little
fuck
thing.
that is.
I wonder if we're gonna hear that later or what, but
No. Hold on, wait for it.
what?
I don't know what the hell that is.
Okay. All right. Well, that's there. If you hear it, sorry.
Yeah, so the battles are great, and like I said, they go hand in hand with the cards that you drafted.
Yep.
So,
what are we going to do about that?
I don't want to stop recording.
I don't either.
There it goes.
It's going to come back, but
yeah,
that's all right.
We'll just stop when it does.
Whatever.
I can cut all this shit out.
I ain't stopping, dude.
Which brings me to the next point. The card play makes this game great. It all stems from the cards. If you take anything away, it's still the game Blood Rage. But if you take the card play away, it's no longer a game. It kind of all falls apart at the seams if you don't have those cards. That is why I go back to the drafting, how important it is to this game that you have to have those cards. It's just, I don't know, it's the glue that holds everything together pretty much. Okay, so the final part about Blood Rage is the RPG inventory card. I said in the last podcast, I love inventories and I love RPGs. Excuse me.
It's your calling card at this point.
It really is.
Bobby Bathrobe's in the house.
It's not healthy to not burp.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. That's a doctor told me
Yep.
that. So
Dr. Shrek, better in the know.
Donkey.
Yeah. Donkey.
Ogres are like onions. I've heard that multiple times.
I've heard that. I fucking hate that movie, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a Shrek guy.
You know what? Yeah, it does. Okay, so Shrek's not the greatest movie. I watched it when I was a kid. I liked it. Mm-hmm. What really sucks is what happened to, what the hell is his name?
Mike Myers?
Yes, what happened to him? What the fuck happened to him?
I don't know.
Like, I
made
thought
a couple
he was so
stinkers
edgy, and then
right?
he's like a kid's dad thing.
Yeah.
Such a bummer.
I kind of look at him in a similar light to Adam Sandler.
See,
where the 90s were great for those guys.
Yeah.
And maybe it was.
Have you seen Uncut Gems?
So loved it. We're going to talk about that later. That movie rocked.
Shit.
Yeah.
That I've never. So I have anxiety. If you have anxiety, do not watch that movie. I had to stand up behind the couch and watch the movie. Like I told Kat, I was like, I need to turn this off. I told my wife, I was like, we need to turn this off. I can't watch this anymore. It's.
But you didn't, did you?
No, I had to watch it. I watched it. I watched the whole thing. It was fantastic. Best Adam Sandler movie I've ever seen.
Wow. That's you might be right. You know,
he did. I mean, his performance is the best. Happy Gilmore is my favorite, but yeah, his performance is fucking so phenomenal, man.
KG's in it too.
Oh my God,
how cool is that?
It's just.
That's a good movie.
When he gave away the gem for the first time, I was just like, "What the hell are you doing?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?" Oh yeah, it reminded me of when I was trying to binge Breaking Bad, and I never made it all the way through it.
Yeah.
Because it was just watching somebody dig their own grave.
Oh man, it
and
is
just keep making bad decision after bad decision. Yep. And it's just like, I don't need this, man. It's entertaining for a while. I was able to watch this and let it conclude because it's only a couple hours long. But
yeah,
I was talking the other day with a couple guys about this that I work with, and Adam Sandler's great in it. And we were saying, who else could have played that role that Adam Sandler does in that movie?
Paul Blart.
The character Paul Blart. Yeah. I said, it's when you say Paul Blart, I said Paul Giamatti. I feel like he's the only guy, maybe not the only guy, but I was like, I could see him doing it. But kudos to Adam Sandler because he was awesome in that movie.
God, who else could have played that? I'm trying to think now. It has to be, I don't even know, man. That's a tough role. That is a tough role. And yeah, I mean, Adam killed it. He did such a cool job on that. But yeah, it's pretty anxiety ridden. I'm going to wrap up Blood Rage here. So the inventory RPG, it's phenomenal. Yep. You get to build your character as you go, which is one of my favorite qualities. It actually trickles into battle companies.
Yeah.
So that's my take on Blood Rage. Play it if you can. Buy it if it's necessary. Don't buy the expansions. You do not need the expansions at all. Don't buy any of the expansions. They're not necessary. I found. We don't even use that shit. It's in there. We don't even use them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
None of the expansions are necessary.
Like the Bear Tribe or something was what you got out of it.
Well, that's the fifth. Yeah, the fifth. If you need a fifth player, but I don't even suggest playing it with 5 people. I mean, 4 people is the most you should play it with.
It's the sweet spot.
Yeah, and don't buy any of the other shit unless they come out with new stuff. I haven't seen it, but
I don't think so.
the vanilla game is phenomenal. So, all right, let's get on to battle companies. What are you thinking?
All right. Battle companies. Ooh, baby. I love me some battle companies.
Here we go. No. Hold on. No. Nope.
Yes.
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 Yarp.
That one's fun. Battle companies, as you see kind of in front of me here, there's been a couple additions. It is the skirmish version of the Middle-earth strategy battle game. I've been playing the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, which then became the Hobbit strategy battle game, which then became the Middle-earth strategy battle game through all of its additions.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So Middle-earth strategy battle game, is that battle companies, or is battle companies an offshoot of Middle-earth strategy battle game?
Yeah, it's an offshoot. It's the same rule set as far as the way most of the mechanics work in the game, but it's like the RPG skirmish version of it. So it's smaller scale.
Okay.
It's more narrative based. It's all about building a battle company, which you got a lot of options. And that was kind of the...
They definitely start out pussies, though. They start out weak as hell, especially the goblins.
Yeah, they're sort of balanced to some degree, but maybe the first few games you play with them, they're not very strong, but all of a sudden you got a cave troll.
Well, that's the thing is Josh would play, whoever, and it's usually not a weak squad, but they have less guys than a weaker squad. A weaker squad is more for swarming, which I like to do.
Yeah, so when you start off with a battle company, you kind of pick your faction. I've picked a few. I've played 5 or 6 different factions, and 2 of my favorite were the Uruk-hai. I probably saw that one through the most. I think I got that thing up to over 400 points, if that means anything to you.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. You start at 100 points for your starting battle company. So I added members. I upgraded my guys. Lots of heroic upgrades to my guys. And I also played Rangers of the North, which was very cool.
Yeah.
And the Gondor. Which we touched on last week a little bit. Gondor was the first battle company that I played with. That you start with 6 guys. It's fairly well balanced. I believe I even won my first match with them, but had some guys fall. And one of the things that's really interesting and gets you invested in this is that at the end of each battle, there's a cleanup phase where you acquire experience points, and you roll on an injury table. And it's to see if your guys are going to make it through to the next battle.
There's 2 different injury tables, right? For your heroes and for your main guys.
Yep, there sure is. So sometimes you can even roll really hot on the injury table, and you might even get some bonus to your guy.
Some cool shit.
Or, on a couple D6s, which is what you're rolling with for the heroes, you could roll low, I think 2 through 4 or 2 and 3, and your guy's dead.
Yeah. They're gone.
Gone.
So now you're playing, let's say I was playing Gundabad for a while.
Yeah.
And he's playing Uruk-hai or Gondor. And all of a sudden he loses a guy and I don't, and I'm able to promote within. I now have a significant upper hand. Yep. But I'm sure you're going to go into it, but the game does even out.
Yeah, it allows for some attempt at balancing.
I think it does a good job.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And it doesn't always feel terrible to lose because you can still gain experience in losing.
Yeah.
And as long as you roll on the injury table and your guys don't die, then it's not so defeating. It's not so devastating. But good Lord, if you do.
It's rough. When you lose a guy, it's really rough.
Or when you lose 4 of them. All 4, I believe it was all 4 guys that took injuries, fell in battle. They were carried back to the barracks or camp. And
and
they all just died. They got the fever.
Drawn and quartered.
Oh man.
Yeah, that is an essential part of this game, and that's what the biggest reason why I don't like the new 40K version is. Crusade is because they don't let your guys die. I don't like that because there's no risk to it.
Yeah, if you sustain injuries, I mean, you can definitely take penalties to your units, but it doesn't feel as harsh. And there's something about that. You feel a little more connected to your battle company.
Absolutely.
If you know that you might just be kissing them goodbye anytime they go out in the battle.
You name every one of these guys.
Name them. I love them.
Yes. And
I love
it's
doing
like,
it, yeah.
there's always, and there's never like all of my goblins, Moria goblins would be fucking, I don't even know, Scab and Guts and, like cool names, like whatever you want. You know, it's great. One of my favorite injuries that you roll on that you get is he is now a hostage for the next game, and they make you play the narrative version of that. So you're fighting to get this guy back. It forces you into a scenario where you got to go rescue your buddy that was now being held captive by the opposing battle company. It's rough. Yeah. So if you have to play hostage, that's a cool scenario because you're literally fighting for your life. There's no more like, oh shit, I got to roll on a table to see if my guy dies. I am fighting for my guy's life to play in the next round. It's stressful.
It can be stressful, but again,
awesome.
it really just kind of connects you. You're a little more invested in the models you have. For me, it made me even take more time into painting my models.
Yep. It's a much smaller. It's a condensed group.
Yep. It's really fun too because it gives you an opportunity as you gain upgrades for your guys and as you buy more equipment. Also,
yes, I love
there's some really fun modeling opportunities. There's some kit bashing opportunities.
Yep.
And really it promotes being creative with your models and personalizing them.
Yeah.
For me, that's a lot of fun. That's one of the main reasons why I like battle companies so much. But another thing that was really cool was that with the second edition, which came out a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
That's like right when we got into it.
Yep.
The second edition came out.
Battle companies was kind of how I got my circle of friends, including Bobby and Corey and Nate even, that's what got you guys in.
Yeah.
Was battle companies. It's a great starting point.
Oh, hold on.
So the map is awesome.
Yeah.
Again, you get
people are probably gonna wonder why we're so close.
Yeah.
One of our mics gave out. It's one of the
better.
cables. It does feel. It feels right.
Yeah.
It feels right. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers, man.
Yay. Boop. Okay, back to the map.
So, whenever you acquire locations through winning a match, you take that location, and there's special abilities and things, upgrades that allow you to have an advantage over your opponent. Some of them are really good.
Okay.
Some of them are not so good, or maybe a little too narrow. But it's really fun. It's fun putting your symbol up on a map, writing your initials, whatever you want to do. Yeah. I think we did the initials, and I don't know. I felt like I was really taking control of that map.
Yeah. Your guys really kind of just sacked.
And those were the Orkai. They were messing people up. I feel like they're one of the stronger.
What were some of the positives from the map? I can't remember. It was like +1 to stuff.
For sure.
It was like an extra guy in battle. I think.
Yep. You could get a like a specter or a warrior of the dead or initiative bonuses or a lot of different things.
Yep.
If you were in Rohan, for example, you could buy a mount for someone and mount them that you couldn't normally get a mount for.
I try to mount everyone.
Yep. A mounted Gundabad or Gundabad Orkai. So some really cool bonuses that you can grant to your battle company that way.
Yeah.
All in all, we had a lot of fun playing it.
It was great.
I can't wait till we circle back around and revisit playing battle companies. I know we're gonna do it eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if they're gonna make another copy of it, another edition of it.
I bet they don't.
They may not. It seems like the Middle Earth stuff doesn't really get the same support as
which is so fucked up. It's so messed up because that is their. Well, I mean, obviously people are gonna disagree with me. 40K and Age of Sigmar are phenomenal games, but I think Middle Earth they just nailed it, man. They just nailed it with the battle companies. I'm not talking about large scale war. It's pretty much the same as any other large scale war game.
It can't be. The mechanics are significantly different from any of the Warhammer stuff.
Yeah.
But which I prefer still the Middle Earth stuff. But.
Still the same. The best mechanics for miniatures game is bolt action, I think. Pulling the dice out of the bag.
So Bobby says that is a really cool initiative mechanic.
It's so good.
Yep. It's it takes a lot of planning out of the equation where it's like, well, I know for sure I'm going next, or he's got initiative for sure. This is, you could just go and bolt action, and that could be detrimental, or maybe that's advantageous depending on what part of the game you're in. But anyways, to sum it all up, Battle Companies, it's my favorite miniatures game I've ever played. I'll continue to push it on my friends as much as I can. I would give it, I'm going to give it a rating.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 8 out of 9 members of the fellowship.
That's impressive. So what member is left behind?
Good question.
That's a tough one.
Man,
So
probably.
you got Legolas, Gandalf, Gimli, Aragorn,
definitely
Frodo.
not Gimli.
No, you got to leave Gimli in there, right?
Yeah, I think I think probably Pippin. He's the most accident prone.
Yep. And he just smokes weed all day, which I'm okay with. But, I mean, that's just like, you don't need him on the fellowship. You don't need him. What the fuck is he going to do?
Yeah,
I guess
he's a liability.
Pretty pivotal at the end.
He's a liability. I'm going to give it another rating.
What?
I'm going to give it 3 out of 3 golden hairs off Lady Galadriel's head.
I would give.
I asked for 1 and she gave me 3.
Oh shit, I forgot. I was gonna do some type of rating scale for Blood Rage, and I don't remember. I don't know. I give it 752 out of 800, which is pretty high.
That's high.
Yeah, that's a high rating.
That's high.
Out of rocks thrown by the glacial monster.
Yep.
Because it's my favorite game.
Cool. Well, feels good to get a couple of ratings under our belt there.
Yeah. And honestly, if you guys want games reviewed or looked at, let us know, and we'll definitely check them out. If not, we'll buy
odds
them
are pretty good
and
we've played it or want to play it, so
yeah,
might get a fresh perspective on it.
Okay, so our next segment that we want to do is a little bit of our best and worst gaming memories, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
well, I competitive gaming memories. Which when are we not competitive? But
yeah,
specifically in a competitive setting where maybe there's something on the line, or maybe some store credit or prize money, or packs, that kind of thing. I'll tell you my best memory as far as in a competitive setting was back in Springfield, Missouri. I was playing at Metagames Unlimited, and it was the Cons of Tarkir pre-release. Pre-releases are my favorite Magic events to attend. They're not ultra competitive, but everyone's kind of on the same playing field whenever you go to a pre-release. I got my pre-release pack. I was playing with Sultai. I opened up Silumgar and had a really nice Sultai deck. I was delving all over the place. Yeah. I went through and went undefeated in that tournament. I can't say that in too many competitive situations where I've made a clean sweep.
Well, competitive as in the shop, but
right,
like he's
right.
used to winning. Like, let's not get that mixed here. He's used to winning.
Don't get me wrong, I'm used to winning, okay? But
just competitively in a shop is a little different. It's a lot more bragging rights for sure.
Sure, yeah, you bet. But
he definitely bragged against all of us too, so it hurt.
Well, I cleaned up at this event, and I think I won 12 packs, which is really exciting to get whenever.
That is a lot.
It's pretty minimal investment.
Like half a box.
And it's a third of a box.
Yeah. A third of a box.
And the set's not even out yet.
Yeah.
And I ripped those packs open, and I got myself an Ugin, which then became a staple in pretty much all the standard decks I played in until he rotated out. Yeah. So
and then he came back.
And he came back. He's back in M21 now.
That's like my favorite card.
Ready to disrupt the meta.
I pulled him.
Yeah.
He's a good card.
You sure did.
Yeah, I sold 3 of them right before this set came out. So I sold them for top price. And then this came out, and then he dropped in price significantly.
Well timed.
Yeah, on accident. How
about you, Bobby? What's your best competitive gaming moment?
Well, so my best competitive gaming moment, I don't have a lot of in store or against strangers, I guess. I'm so used to playing with friends and all that stuff. So my best competitive moment, we had the most competition, was against each other. And there was times where we would sit at our job, this pizza place, and drink and play Magic until about 5 a.m.
After hours.
After hours, lock the doors, and it was just a couple of us. Well, I've mentioned them before: Corey, Gus, Josh, me, Keegan. Like, we would just sit there. The boys. It was the boys. Then we drank all night long and played Magic all night long, and we would just rotate, and it was fantastic. It was weeks. Like, it wasn't a night. It was every fucking night.
I say 5 nights out of the week.
Yeah, at least. And our wives and girlfriends never complained. I mean, it was great. We never had a problem. Looking back, we were pretty shitty boyfriends and husbands, but like, whatever. I don't give a shit. We had fun. And I'm sure they got to sleep early, like, whatever. God, that's hands down one of my best times. And like we talked before, is opening those boxes, the Origins boxes. That'll always top as number one.
Sure.
But that's a close second is the 5 o'clock in the morning Magic games. Oh man.
All
so
right.
good. So good.
Well, then one of the first games that I really played competitively was the Star Wars miniatures game. And that was a game at the time Wizards of the Coast had the licensing to. And they had a lot of nice models. It was a collectible miniatures game. So essentially, you buy booster packs, much the way you would like Hero Clicks, for example.
Yeah.
So I kind of started playing that game when it first came out. So I was able to grow with the meta a little bit, and I was pretty decent at it. And I remember being at a tournament at the same game store, Metagames Unlimited. Yep. And made my way to top table in the final round. And I was
typical
playing...
Josh.
Hey. I was playing Darth Vader Jedi Hunter at the time. It was one of my favorite models. He's kind of a one-man army. Had a couple support pieces with it.
What were support pieces? Stormtroopers?
A couple of Stormies. I think it was actually 4 LOM and a Stormtrooper, and that made 100 points exactly, and it was a 100-point tournament that I was playing in. I remember playing against Aura Singh, which I made quick work of, in a Han Solo, and I had positioned myself perfectly where I had lost the Stormtrooper. I had lost 4 LOM. However, I had based Han Solo and was ready to just dice this dude up and end the game. Now, Vader was flashing red. I didn't have a whole lot of life left, but basically I'd won initiative, and Vader was about to triple attack, so I had 3 attacks to basically land 1 wound on Han Solo and win this thing and go home a champion. And I roll my 3 D20s, and all 3 land on 1.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Sucks.
Ouch. Man, that hurt.
You deserved it.
I probably did. I probably did. But that's also probably the most frustrated I've ever, I worked really hard to get to that point, and it just didn't work out. And sometimes
all you had to do is just not roll ones.
Just not roll a 1. I think I was hitting on 2s or 3s, right? Ugh. So anything
on
but on a D20.
Oh my fucking
dude
God.
Was an animal. Yeah. Dude, Vader, I mean, that's why you take him. But anyways, I was frustrated, then Han Solo gets his shot. Boop.
Yeah.
Pew. And takes Vader out, and that was it. I picked up everything.
He's got this one weak spot on his helmet.
Right there in the back of the helmet.
That's it. You just got to get in there and lay the shot.
So that was it, and not that big of a deal. I took second in a tournament, and that's my worst.
How old were you? Yeah.
19,
how nice is that?
Maybe,
yeah.
Or 20.
He's 19 years old and he's playing this game and he's just like, I pulled second. I hate myself. And I'm like, oh, cool. I lost against a 6th grader. Shit, in the first round.
If you ain't first, you're last, buddy. Come on now. So, anyways, that's probably my worst.
Well, that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
So, my original worst is actually, Josh and I talked about this a little bit before the show. My original worst was playing against Josh, of course, and he was Darth Vader.
But different
Star
miniatures
Wars
game.
game,
This
though,
was Imperial Assault from Fantasy Flight
Narrative
that we were
based.
playing. Yep.
And it was me and my cousin Keegan, and I can't remember who we were playing. It was, two
I think Gus was there also.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe it was just me and Gus then.
Maybe.
Yeah. And anyway, we were coming around trying to get all this stuff. We fought our asses off to get all the way through this like whole dungeon in the game. And we finally get to the very end. We have to open this door, and then we just got to like get in there and we're done. Well, then we open the door and Vader comes out, and he just, after like an hour of work, like he just slaughtered us. There was nothing. There was not like, it was so disappointing to play that hard and get that lucky to get to that point, to open the door to be like, oh my God, a fully healthed Vader against us who are blinking red and you're just ready to go down. And we're like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then he just literally swiped us down and we're like, is that it? And you're like, yeah. Like, oh.
Well, now you guys are dead, so it's over. If I remember right, you were, one of you two, I think it was you were playing as the Jedi trying to reclaim their lightsaber.
Yes.
And so that was the relic you were looking for, was the lightsaber.
Yep.
And I guess Vader just had it, Vader
really wanted it.
Yeah, he was collecting at that point.
What a dick.
But that's fun. That's fun. I like to be included in
your
first memory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Josh is in a lot of my worst memories. By the way, Josh was at that pre-release that night, I think. So, like, he was there at my worst memory of my life. I won that. Did you really?
No, I didn't win that.
Because you were there for a while, didn't you? Yeah,
I think I played all the rounds there. I think I maybe went 2-2 or 3-1 or something like that.
Like, I think I won. I don't even know anymore. I don't keep track. All right, let's try this new segment. What's it called?
Off the Sprue. So these are off-topic things outside of wargaming and gaming in general.
Yeah, I suppose. I have a couple things that are related to gaming, but not in real life gaming. Okay. It'd be like almost LARPing.
Sure.
So what do you got?
So, I wore it tonight. I had to go big. My boy in the news, Pat Mahomes, the $500 million man.
AKA Eric Andre?
Careful. All right? Careful. 10 years. $500 million. To me, you know what that sounds like? I don't know, 10 more Super Bowls? Probably.
Yeah, until he gets hurt next year like he did last year.
I can't wait.
I can't believe he came back.
That was one of the scariest moments of my life.
Yeah.
Knee injury mid-season.
Wait, what is that a year?
What do you mean?
$500 million in 10 years, what is that?
$50 million a year.
Oh my fucking God. Could you imagine that? I don't even can't imagine. I can't even imagine spending that much money in a year.
That's insane.
Yeah, I could.
I don't think I could.
I could.
I don't know. How many $50 million? How many Dobermans is that?
That's a lot of Dobermans. That's a lot of Dobermans.
That's like farm.
That's a lot of Dobermans. Allie told me that you want a pack.
I want a pack.
I want a pack. Hey, guess what? I know what to get you every birthday.
There you go.
And Christmas.
Yep, there you go. Load me up. Load me up. So yeah, we got him locked up for we got Pat Mahomes locked up for 10 years, all right? It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan right now. I ain't no bandwagoner either, all right? Okay. I've been a Chiefs fan.
You should have heard him 3 years ago.
No. That is not true. Thick and thin, man. I've been through it. I've been so close yet so far away for so many years.
God, you sound like a Vikings fan.
Well, good luck with that. Yeah. They're my secondary team.
Who the fuck knows what our quarterback's going to be next year? It's every year's a new one. We're just like, let's just try this guy.
Cutie Kurt.
Yeah, fucking right.
Kirk Cousins.
The most underrated. No, I won't get into that.
Okay, that's probably for the best.
Yeah,
but you know what, Pat, if you're listening, you're my guy. Yeah. And can't wait to just keep winning with you. I'm really hoping that the NFL season pans out.
Yeah.
With COVID and everything. I guess we'll see how that goes.
Nobody in the stands. But
it's crazy because the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and then the world ends. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe
coincidence, maybe.
So how many Dobermans out of Dobermans are you going to give this team?
The Chiefs' current roster?
The Tahoe Party. That's what I'm saying. The
Tahoe Party. 52 out of 52 Dobermans. We can't be stopped. COVID's the only thing that's going to stop the Chiefs next year.
You know what's fucked up? So I've been following COVID in national sports, right? So every NBA player, I haven't heard of too many NFL players getting it. Obviously, it's not, right now, but there's MLB and NBA. A lot of NBA players got it. Nobody fucking died.
No.
Nobody even got ventilator. Nobody got coma. Nobody got sick, dude. It's now I don't know if it's just the health or if it's the money or what, dude, but
they're young, they're physical specimens, they're probably at peak health.
And
These
have
guys
the
are
best
professional
doctors.
athletes. Yeah.
But they never got sick. It never got to that point of sickness. So I don't conspiracy.
Rudy Gobert still can't smell very well. So he's going to have to live with that. Okay?
His popsicles taste like shit.
His $1,000 popsicles. Yeah.
My gold leaf popsicles.
Yep.
They don't taste very golden.
So how about you, Bobby? What's
Okay.
your off the sprue?
This off the sprue moment is in Germany, there was a man. I don't know his fucking name because it's German.
Dieter.
It may have been Dieter.
Dieter von Strudel.
Dieter von Strudel. He had a bow and arrow.
Oh.
He had a bandana.
Yes.
And he sat in the woods and he played Rambo for a very long time. And
What's a very long time?
I don't remember how long. But this guy, 5-day manhunt.
Oh, wow.
It was a 5-day manhunt in Germany.
Wow.
They call him the Black Forest Rambo.
Holy cow. That's something to hang your hat on right there. If I could get a name like that.
So I just picture a man with blonde hair and blue eyes and a fucking lederhosen with a mud under his eyes and with a bow and arrow.
Wow.
Running around in the woods, in the Black Forest woods. And it just makes me happy that things are still going on like that amid all the crazy shit that's happened in the world. Some fun stuff still going on.
Yep. Life goes on, I guess. Rambo crazy life still goes on.
I love it. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I figured I wanted to share that with you. That was
What a day brightener.
that was really good.
That. Yeah.
So I think Josh has got one. So we're going to be, from now on, we're going to be doing this thing where we're going to do the brothers tips. And Josh has got a tip for you, I think. One tip. We're probably going to do more than one tip per episode, but today we're going to do one. We're going to start off with one.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Brothers, just the tip.
How about another hot brothers tip? Whenever you're painting miniatures and you lick your brush, as one does,
We do.
whenever you're painting miniatures, make sure you're not snacking on Cheetos at the time, because you're just going to riddle that brush with orange little Cheeto crumbs.
Yeah. Icky.
It's a little icky. Have I ruined a brush doing that? I'm not going to disclose that information. You be the judge of that. I'm just advising.
Quentin just ate a bunch of Cheetos, so you were like,
I have Quentin clean my brushes now for me. So he just.
God, I saw his Red Rocket today. Holy guacamole. I mean, it's bigger than this microphone. Thing is
packing.
Yeah, it's scary. It is a scary sight. And when I was petting his face and he got a full Red Rocket,
He was excited.
I didn't know how to approach the situation. I was very scared, but I took it in stride. I walked away, never left eye contact until the door was closed.
Yeah.
Immediately, he just pressed it against the window like he was in prison. Yep. And I left immediately. Probably disappointed him, but whatever.
He made you grab his pocket when you entered the house, though. You walked around like that, so whatever that means.
That was his pocket?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You ready to wrap this thing up?
I think that's it for tonight. If you guys liked it, give it a like. If you guys want to see some more, subscribe.
Please do. Yeah, I like how we're doing this at the end again.
Yeah, I know, right? Whatever.
You know, if you stuck with us this far, you've probably done this already, which thank you. Thanks for doing that.
We've already got some subscribers. I think we should do some shout outs real quick.
Oh, we're going to do a little subscriber shout out.
Let's do some subscriber shout outs. All right. So I know Dan from Spring Food Mo.
Yep.
He definitely subscribed.
Dan, a.k.a. MASH.
Badass bro.
Yep.
And then we got invoice. Here we go. So we got Tanner.
Yeah. Tanner, which by the way, shout out Tanner.
Oh yeah, music.
Goes by Candor. He's the guy that produced the music. Kandor. He's got his own record label. He's part of a collective called Bump Records. It's kind of some hot stuff going on in that scene in the Twin Cities area. He's awesome. He made the music that you heard for us. He's made some other stuff. You might hear more of him. We'll probably put a little link in the description where you could check out Bump Records and download some of their stuff. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. We got Rob from where is he from? New Mexico. Rob from New Mexico. He subscribed the other day. I don't want to say any last names. We got Dilla Donuts, just a new subscriber. Dan, of course.
Yep.
And then me and Josh, apparently we subscribe to ourselves. So, if you like it, give us a subscribe. It helps a lot, obviously. If you don't, tell us why. Write it down in there. Be like, you guys fucking suck and we hate you.
What are we
doing
wrong?
And it'll be like, okay. Yeah, we'll understand.
We'll get it.
So, yeah. I think that's everything.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.